Having a child changes your life in so many ways, and how you socialize is definitely one of them. I think a lot of new parents feel a strain on friendships, especially with friends who don't have kids. But family therapist Arden Greenspan-Goldberg says this is perfectly normal.
Couples that do not have children, unless they're included in the loop of the new parenting experience, feel kind of out in left field. So unless they're interested in having children themselves, or they're trying to have children, after a while there's less in common.
And our moms across America agree.
Sure. Having our daughter changed our lives dramatically, including our social life. And I think what changed the most is having the time available where we could step away either as a couple or as an individual and hang out with our friends. And some of our friends were flexible with that. Some of them, it made it a lot harder to get together.
It's definitely different. As much as you try to not let your kids get in the way of your relationships with other people, sometimes they do. We have some friends who we used to hang out with them late on Saturday nights and stay out and play games. And just last weekend they came over and were saying, oh, what a bummer, we're getting together on Sunday and we're not going to be able to stay up late. And my husband and I looked at each other and said, who are you kidding? We go to bed at 9. Our little one goes to bed at 9, so that's when we go to bed. So we definitely have a different way of hanging out with our friends than we used to.
Most of my friends out here, though, have kids, and it's a lot easier to relate to them. No single person really wants to hear about changing diapers and, kid stuff like that.
There are ways to keep those friendships alive.
I think for the new parents, you need to be inclusive and make your friends feel very special. So there's a special auntie, a special uncle, the godparent, the godmother, the godfather, and you encourage your friends to come over, babysit, right from the get-go. Don't ever discourage them from helping you out.
My advice is keeping the channels of communication open, letting your friends know that you're there and you may be a little distracted, but you'd still love to see them. And that really helps, and I think it helps foster a better relationship with everyone, and they in turn get to know your child and have a great relationship with your child too.
Try to make lunch dates as opposed to evening appointments and get-togethers, so that way you and the other person can meet on one-on-one without the children.
We often host things at our house, so that way we're kind of there, and if the little one needs to go to sleep, we can still stay up and do things.
Find a common area that you can agree on. Maybe you have a hobby that's alike, and so that works really well. So I would just say to try to find something that you like to do together, and that way you can maintain that friendship and not have to lose it.
Despite your best efforts, sometimes friendships end.
I think sometimes when there's a baby in the room and it's crying and it wants mommy or daddy's attention,
it's okay, cutie.
It's hard to get together. And so some of our friends were more uncomfortable with that scenario, having a baby present and our attention getting distracted, and it can be hard to listen to a friend's story to total completion.
Yeah, I'd say that was a tricky thing because they're in a different stage of life, but we found it sometimes meshed and sometimes didn't. It depended on the family.
Yes, I've had issues, and what happens is usually we tend to go our separate ways, unfortunately. So the friendship usually will end.
Sometimes there could be some kind of jealousy or negativity, and if there's any kind of hostile digs and this is something that's ongoing, then yes. And over time, if your friends are not really into having children or they choose not to have a child, you may just drift away.